to the Nik Nak Podcast and YouTube channel. We're going to go through all of the Week 2 lines and make some of our picks and talk about some of these games a little more in depth. So, Nick, before we actually start picking the games, tonight's actually pretty interesting. So we're recording this on Thursday, and tonight we got the Bills and the Jets. Rex Ryan, revenge game. But more importantly, on the grander scheme of things, today's going to be the first game broadcast on social media.
Oh, really?
This game is going to be broadcast on Twitter.
What?
Live streamed on Twitter. So, in their new agreement, Twitter is going to be the first social media site to actually broadcast a live sporting event on its platform. So it's a pretty big day for this. And like if you shout out to Andy Nguyen, one of our listeners, tweeted this at us earlier that not only are they the first team to be playing a game on social media, they were actually the first two teams to play a game in HD.
HD on social media? Or
No,
HD in general?
HD in general.
It's weird.
So,
wow.
Jets and Bills, blazing trails.
Trendsetters, man.
Yeah, so...
fucking innovators.
It's pretty... Yeah, so, speaking of that game...
Wait, before we jump into games,
go ahead.
I thought we should open our show by doing Antonio Brown's twerk. I thought you could start it off.
You want me
we just do it every time. I thought it was brilliant. Hold on. No, just messing with me. It's not the type of show...
no, please keep watching the video.
Yeah, come watch Nik Nak After Hours for that stuff. But yeah, go on.
So we're gonna start with that game, and we're gonna basically go through the games. We're gonna make our guess at what the lines are, and then we're gonna make our picks. So we're not gonna spend too much time on this because by the time we post this, the game's gonna be like halfway through. It's gonna be boring for everybody. So real quick, what's your guess on what the Jets Bills line is?
So I'm not even gonna guess it because I know it. So I'm just gonna tell you what. What is your guess? Because I knew it before I guessed.
My guess was Bills +1.
And this was not bearing any injuries that we don't know of,
This was taking everything into account. Sammy Watkins possibly missing the game and everything like that. So Bills +1 at home.
Yeah. So I had a feeling it'd be around to pick 'em. Jets are clearly the superior team, but it is a division game at home. So the Bills are favored by 1 last time I checked, as of right now. But it was like a pick 'em. It's been moving, so it depends where you look.
So it's actually a pick 'em now. So your guess was Bills by 1?
Yeah, but that's not my pick.
Okay.
My pick's the Jets, and I'll explain why in a second. But who's your pick?
My pick is also going to be the Jets.
I thought you were taking the Bills.
No.
You were just telling me.
No. I just did not just
You were
tell
just saying you had a feeling about the Bills. This is what he does, man. He just takes devil's advocate when we come live.
I said there was a possibility that this whole Sammy Watkins injury thing was just Rex Ryan mind games against his former team.
Even if it was, would it have made that much of a difference? Sammy Watkins is a good receiver.
Pretty big difference. It would have gone from it being a close game to being a Jets beatdown if Sammy Watkins didn't play.
So, I mean, real quick, I think Jets should have won that game against Cincy. They come back. This is a very important divisional game. I'm not worried about Darrelle Revis. I think he's still a good corner. He may not be elite anymore, but I think they pull it out, and they pull it out pretty easy. I have concerns about the Bills' D without Marcel Darius. I don't think they can stop the run. They have a lot of holes on that defense.
Yeah, I mean, I think Matt Forte's going to gash them. I think Fitzmagic does what he does, and let's just move on from this because we don't need to dive too deep into this one. Let's go to the Bengals and the Steelers next. So, you want to guess first on this one?
This is Bengals at Steelers?
This is Bengals at Steelers, yes.
I'm going to say Steelers probably favored by 4.
The Steelers were favored by 3.5. So you win that one. I guessed that the Steelers would be favored by 1.5. Kind of looking back on that, I don't know why I said that. But that was my guess, was 1.5. And I have all these written down right here, so you don't think that I'm making these up on the spot. Nick has access to these too, so he knows I'm not cheating.
What's your pick? This is a tough game, and two of the front runners in the AFC North.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Bengals in this one.
Taking the points.
I think that the Steelers might have gotten a little overrated by beating us on a game where we just played awfully. And
do you like the potential of a money line play there, or you like covering the points at 4?
I like the potential of a money line there.
So you think they might win outright?
I would think they win outright. So you're gonna take.
No. I like what you're saying. I don't think they win outright. I think Steelers win, but Bengals cover. I think Steelers win by a field goal, and I think their defense gets a little more exposed with A.J. Green and Jeremy Hill and those boys. I don't think Kirk Cousins did a good job of it this week. So
he did not. So, but that's it. That's gonna be one of the better games this week for sure. And moving on to something that one of the most underrated games, I think, the Titans and the Lions. I was pretty close on the line for this one.
Yeah, what'd you guess?
You go first. I don't want to. I already told
Titans
you. Titans
at Lions. I'm gonna say Lions by 4.5.
That's exactly what I guessed. The line was 6.
Whoa, disrespecting the Titans.
I mean, I think it's pretty adequately rated. So this game is going to be another shootout. You expect Matt Stafford to throw another 40 passes in this game. So those of you making your DFS picks this week, if you watch one of our other videos, I picked Stafford as my starter this week because he's at a decent price at home against the Titans defense, which isn't very good. I think it's gonna be a high scoring game for both teams.
So you like the over?
I like
whatever.
The over.
And so, what was your pick on the game?
I'm picking the Lions.
Want to pick, man. The Titans were so disappointing week 1 because Minnesota could not score the ball, and they scored twice on defense, I believe.
Yeah,
which is insane. Like they could have won that game if they just handled their offensive game plan, but they didn't.
The exotic smash mouth wasn't working.
I mean, they're literally trying to run Oregon's offense. The number 1 receiver is not a number 1 receiver.
Yeah,
they could not get the ball to Delaney Walker, and for all those reasons, I'm taking the Titans because I think they bounce back. +6.
I mean, to your point, no team was worse against the tight end last year than the Detroit Lions. So
yeah, I mean, they need to get the ball to Delaney Walker. They're not going anywhere. I don't think it's a blowout. I think it's within a touchdown, and I'll take my points.
All right, so you're gonna take Titans. I'm gonna take the Lions. So we're gonna differ on that one. And probably the most most lopsided potentially game of this week is gonna be the Ravens and the Browns. RG3 is out. Josh McCown is back in. I'm gonna go ahead and let you go on this one again. What's your guess?
Ravens by 7.5.
Ravens by 7.5. It was Ravens by 6.5. So you got closer to that one. I guess Ravens by 4. So in this game, I think that it ends up being a little bit closer with McCown. So with the points, I'm gonna take the Browns.
I love the Browns. This might be my play of the week. I think as of now, I love this play. I think McCown is a much better read in the offense. I think they have playmakers there. Pryor showed he could play receiver out there. I like Hawkins. I like all the receivers. I think Barnage steps up this week.
Probably get some more looks this week.
And I don't think Ravens. The Bills did not show up. I watched much of that game. Bills did not show up last week, and not that the Browns will, but this is a divisional game. I'll take my points as almost a touchdown. You know?
Can we? This is one thing I want to go a little in depth on. Can we talk about RG3? Because me and you watched part of this game together last week. And we both said the same exact thing.
This is beating a dead horse.
That he looked exactly the same as he did in Washington. The guy did not learn anything. At that one play he rolled out of the pocket, it looked literally exactly the same play that he had against the Jaguars where he hurt his ankle when no one even touched him.
We're talking identical. I wish we could just put up a video right now, but you put 2 frames. It's the same guy.
He's kicking his legs out while he's running, and it's.
But I mean, so it makes sense, right?
It's not,
a guy that's done this his whole life and reached a point of excellence, getting scholarships, being a Heisman winner at Baylor. You can't just turn that off. It's in his DNA almost. It's tough, right? It's like turning a pocket passer into a runner, right? It's almost the same thing.
I mean, you can't teach a pocket passer to run all of a sudden.
No, I mean not from an athletic perspective, but from a mindset perspective. It's a mindset thing.
But how many reps do you need to break out of this thing?
I don't know. He's been doing his whole life. I mean, I don't know. I think.
Well, now he's out for at least 8 weeks because he can't stay healthy. He tries to stretch a run out of bounds. And
he still can't slide. People say he can slide. He can't slide for shit.
He can't slide.
Look at Russell Wilson sliding. That's how you slide.
Yeah. So that's how he should have been sliding. He should have slid on that play for sure. But he didn't, and he initiated contact on the sideline, breaks fractures some bone in his shoulder that I can't even pronounce right now, and
I saw a funny tabloid headline. It was like RG3's career like 9-10 and 9-12. Like it just ended. Like 2 days to the Browns. He's just done.
9-10, 9-12.
It's just like crazy. It's like he just started and he's done.
I saw another thing. It was like he's like the 51st rated passer in Browns history, right ahead of a wide receiver and behind the guy.
There's very few quarterbacks where when your backup comes in, you seem more lucrative from a betting perspective and a fantasy perspective. I think their betting odds go up and their fantasy players' skills go up too. Like what type of backup quarterback does that to a team, except for the Browns?
And Josh McCown's going to come in, and that offense is going to come alive a little bit more, just a little bit more.
So what do we got next?
All right, next up is I'll save this for the end of the 1 o'clock ones because we're going to talk about this one for a while. Let's go to the Saints and the Giants. This one's interesting. Last year, these teams combined for 102 points.
It's a crazy game. I remember that game.
This year, it's in the Meadowlands. It's going to be an explosion again. I was almost on the money with this line.
It's in New York?
Yes.
It's in New York by 4?
That's exactly what I guessed. It's New York by 4.5.
I was going to say 5, but
so
give the Saints some.
We would have tied either way.
Yeah.
So this is going to be an offensive explosion again. Fire up all your Saints, fire up all your Giants in fantasy. I think Eli has a big game. Odell has a big game. Breeze might come down to earth a little bit because this game's going to be outside.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think we talked about in Monday of our podcast, quarterbacks like Breeze and Matt Ryan, they just play so much better in domes than at home.
Yeah.
This is just going to be a little tough, and that's for that reason I love the underplay because I feel like everyone's going to see this game and just throw money on the over, and Vegas knows what they're doing. So I think this is exactly where you take the under, you take the contrarian view on this.
Yeah.
But from the spread perspective, it may be like my Redskins in me, but I'm taking the Saints, and I'm taking the Saints money line. I think they win outright. I think the Giants think they're better than they are after last week, and I think they fall back to earth. I don't know. I still don't think they can run the ball. I think they have holes on defense.
Everything that you just said is the same for me, except I'm applying that same logic to the Saints. I think the Saints are they lost to the Raiders last week, but I still think that they look better than they probably are as a team. And I think going outside, you're going to see that reveal itself.
Huh.
And I'm going to take the Giants with the points. So
yeah, I mean, to switch to DFS, I'm sure like Odell might be the most owned player in head-to-head and 50-50s this week.
Oh, you should be. And
you cannot. There's no price tag for that. But at the same time, you may get better value with Cruz and Shepard for a lower price.
Yeah.
So think about that.
Shepard's definitely a good play. So let's move to the 49ers and the Panthers. We saw the 49ers completely embarrass your boy Jeff Fisher on Monday night.
7-9, you mean?
Yeah, your boy.
Or is it 8-8? Is it respectful enough to say 8-8? I'd rather give him a 7-9.
It's a generous 8-8. A generous 8-8.
I like 7-9 better.
All right, you like 7-9 better. Mr. 7-9, Jeff Fisher gets embarrassed on Monday night for the team that he has, and Los Angeles wanted.
Wait. Sorry, go ahead. I thought he signed an extension today for 3 years. Was that a bullshit article?
There was rumors that he was close. I don't know.
Because I was like, there's no way you can repeatedly be mediocre at your job for 15 years and continue getting.
So I mean, well, for years and years and years, LA wanted the Rams, and Monday night they got the Rams.
Man, this is gonna be a bad game.
It's yeah. So we're not talking about the Rams yet. We're talking about the 49ers and the Panthers. 49ers are flying east to visit the Panthers at 1 o'clock. What do you think the line, after playing on Monday night, what do you think the line is?
This is definitely going to be the biggest line of the year. It's going to be over 10. Rams came off that embarrassing loss.
49ers.
Oh, 49ers, sorry. 49ers. 12.
You're closer than I was. It's 13.5. I picked 10.5 because I had a little bit more faith in the 49ers, but apparently Vegas does not. So it's gonna be this is gonna be a lopsided game. I'm gonna go. I'm actually gonna take the Panthers here. It's a big pill to swallow, but so I think playing Monday night and then coming east is gonna be too much.
I need to ask you because I actually did not watch the Niners game, so I'll be honest with that. How did Chip Kelly's offense look? And did it look like Blaine Gabbert had a feel of the offense? Was it like the old Chip offense?
So I actually didn't catch the game live either. I watched it later a little bit, but Gabbert looked adequate to below average. Hyde was the star coming out of that game, but even he needed a lot of rushes to get the production that he had. So I think
the takeaway is Navarro Bowman and that defense seemed like they was
Bowman
very
was
good. Yeah.
that night. And as a guy who has him as an IDP in one league, I was very happy with that. So I think that game was more about the Rams were awful than it was about the 49ers being good. So, yeah, we're going to see plenty of that.
Yeah, so Sunday. That's my pick. So it's Carolina. There's no way. They're going to stomp them 21-0 first half, win by like 38-7.
30, wow. All right.
Chip Kelly comes back to reality.
And then one of the best matchups of the year in the AFC East, the Patriots and the Dolphins at New England with Jimmy Garoppolo, who took down the Arizona Cardinals on Sunday night.
Oh, this is a tough line.
It is a little bit of a tough line. You can see it's going a lot of ways.
I'm going to say Patriots by 5.
Patriots by 5. I took the Patriots by 7.5, and it was Patriots by 6.5.
Wow.
So I win that one. I was off by 1.
It's too high for my liking.
6.5 is too high?
I think Garoppolo comes back. I know, so Gronk's probably going to play this week.
Yeah.
Even with that, I think it's just a must-win for the Dolphins. This division has to capitalize on Tom Brady being out. I think they're going to go guns blazing, and I think they have a big game. I think Arian Foster does much better this week. I mean, he went against Seattle's D last week, and not many running backs can run in Seattle. I think he does better this week, and I think Dolphins surprise some people.
I think
they cover. Not the money line, though. I think they cover.
I'm going to take the Patriots in this one, but I think you're going to see a very angry Jay Ajayi this week.
Oh, no bias there, right?
No bias at all there.
No bias.
He's not on one of my fantasy teams.
Yeah, there's no way. There's no way you're going to say that. Yeah. It's a random bias.
But no, honestly,
backup running back. Yeah.
Arian Foster mispracticed again this week, and not that he's hurt. I think it's just a Veterans Day off.
Yeah.
But I think Jay Ajayi got the message last week that he needs to contribute in some way or another, even if he's not the starter, because they straight up left him at home to go to Seattle, and I think you're gonna see them bring out both running backs this week.
And your boy Devontae Parker's playing this week.
He is.
So I mean, people have a lot of high expectations for him as a breakout player. So let's see how him and Landry do against that defense.
Yeah. So I mean, I think that I think it's gonna be a good game, but I still think that Patriots come out by more than.
What's funny is that when the Pats announced Gronk out, it's just like I thought they were just giving up. I thought they were gonna get smoked.
Yeah.
And then they come out and do that. It's just such a Belichick thing. Like exactly what you think never happens with Belichick. Nope. Standard rules is not applied to the Patriots. Like whatever you think for a logical team, just throw it out the window with the Patriots.
That would have been if like Brady was playing and Gronk was there and Ninkovich was playing. That would have literally been a game where you would have seen in like 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter, Ninkovich forces a fumble and Brady takes him down the field and throws a game-winning touchdown of Gronk.
And they walk off. Yeah.
But for some reason, Garoppolo just makes it look easy. I guess I don't know.
Is he? Before we move on, is he better looking than Tom Brady from a no homo perspective? That's for me.
I think he's yes. I'm gonna go with yes.
No, don't do this.
I think Brady has rich person good looks.
More sex appeal.
No.
That's where he's going for that, man.
I was going for the Brady has money so he can make himself look good.
And he has like Uggs endorsements and shit like that. And
that's where I was going.
Yeah, Under Armour and
All right, well, anyway, so I'm going to go Garoppolo. You go with your boy Brady. And don't worry, I'll be out of here soon so you can have your room back. All right, so the game that we really want to talk about, it's Dallas week.
Next.
We got Redskins Cowboys. You probably already know what the line of this game is, I'm sure.
Yeah, I've been following this all week.
Where was it last time you checked?
So I've seen it move between Skins 2.5 to Skins as 3. I think the last time I looked was 2.5.
That's your guess?
That's the last time it was. I guess it's that.
What's your guess? I mean, that's the point of this.
It's 3. I guess it's 3.
Okay, it's 3. So Skins by 3.
I don't make the lines.
All right, go ahead. You wrote an article this week about 10 things to take away from the game. I think a lot of them apply to this Dallas game right now. So I'll let you have the floor first.
10 crack commandments. Actually, fuck, I'm gonna do 1. Don't overreact. We'll be just fine. I think Monday night we were all sipping the Kool-Aid, all of us. I mean, fans were Analysts were, journalists were, even ESPN was. A lot of people picked us. You know why? Because we won the division. We got Josh Norman. It seemed nothing was working well.
Josh Norman,
but we failed on Monday night, which is not a surprise to any Skins fan because every time we're on fucking national television, we get blown out.
Yeah.
So let's rewind. Kirk Cousins was terrible. Okay, I expected that out of the defense, and I'm not gonna go too deep in the Redskins, but I think with Dak Prescott, he threw like 45 times last week, and his furthest completion was 15 yards.
Yeah,
that doesn't scare me. If we need to stop the run, 100%. They're gonna run it all over us.
Oh yeah,
and I think it comes down to game plan.
Yeah, it does. I mean, if you know about the Redskins, you've been following them all offseason, most of the problems we had were things that we knew were going to be problems.
Yeah, the D-line.
Steelers were getting pressure up the middle. We knew Corey was undersized.
Yeah, Laval's coming off an injury.
We weren't able to run the ball. We knew Matt Jones was not going to be that effective.
Our D-line's tissue paper soft.
Our D-line's horrible.
Yeah.
D'Angelo Hall is still adjusting to being a safety and making the reads at that position. So coming up and helping Breeland, and a lot of people jumped on Breeland. Yeah. For being embarrassed by Antonio Brown. A lot of good quarterbacks have been embarrassed by Antonio Brown.
Yeah, and I said this in my post. Brown's stats from game 1 was lower than his per game stats from last year. So I'm not saying we shut him down, but he's that good. He breaks records every year.
Yeah.
And
we were 2 inches away from having a pick in the end zone.
Yeah, exactly. He didn't get smoked. I mean, 1 or 2 hands there. He literally had the ball in his hands a couple times.
Yeah, so I mean,
he almost had 2 picks.
And Breeland historically has played very well against Dez Bryant, so expect him to have a big game this week. I don't see why he wouldn't. So people that are calling for Josh Norman to shadow Dez Bryant, we don't need him to. That's the point. That's why we have him here. That's why people expected a big year out of Bashaud Breeland, because this is what we expected. We were expecting Bashaud Breeland to have big numbers because Josh Norman's on the other side. People are going to be throwing at Bashaud Breeland, and guess what? He had a pick, and Antonio Brown killed him, and there's a reason Antonio Brown was playing on that side because Josh Norman's an all-pro on the other side, but Bashaud Breeland's not bad either.
I mean, yeah, that was D-Hall came out and said he had over-the-top safety help. He was expecting Ben to do a QB sneak, and that's why he crept in the box. And that's on him. The play call for him was to help AB on the side. If he's there, does AB make that play? I don't know. Big Ben probably runs it, but I mean, how many offensive coordinators throws a go route on 4th and 1?
Only Mike
Tomlin. Not many teams will do that. So I mean, before we make our pick, I want to ask you, what do you think about the whole Norman should cover the best receiver, follow them? It's been all over ESPN. It's literally the most annoying topic every time I turn on ESPN.
It's the hottest take of the week. It's one thing everyone wants to talk about. It's because people don't know Bashaud Breeland yet.
Yeah.
And that Monday night, they should have seen him when we played on Monday night before, because the games where he shut down Dez were primetime games.
Right.
People should know this about him by now, but they don't. And we know that he's a good corner. We know Norman's a good corner. We don't need to have Norman flying around the defense, shifting everyone else's assignments when we have 2 guys who can handle that responsibility. Norman's not going to come down in the slot and cover anybody. Breeland's not going to either. That's why we have a bunch of guys who can cover in the slot.
Right.
Besides those 2, and they should stay on their side. They should stick to the plan that they have on defense, and I think that's what they're going to end up doing.
I agree with you, and I think Norman should on big plays, like 3rd down, on goal line situations. Get on Dez, get on Odell, but for the whole game, it's a little outrageous, and I agree with you. And I also think people are forgetting D'Angelo Williams had an insane game. People are looking at AB. What about D'Angelo Williams? Williams doesn't run for 150 and 2 TDs. We're not really having this discussion.
And even that was when they started running towards Bashaud Breeland on the edge.
Right. Who's traditionally a very good cornerback tackler.
Yeah, and at this point,
he's not Fred Smoot.
He can't handle D. Will and Antonio Brown on one side with no safety help over top.
They clearly picked on him, and if you're the Cowboys and Jason Garrett, you're going the same direction. They saw that. They're running right at him.
Yeah.
Throwing the ball right at him too.
And when you have a number 1 cornerback like Norman, you pay him like that to take a third of the field away, and that's what he did that night. Whether the Steelers pushed Antonio Brown to their side or not is irrelevant. No one had a catch on Norman's side of the field almost the whole night.
Yeah. And when he was targeted he played amazing defense.
Yeah, and you just need to shade the help over to the other side.
Yeah.
A little bit and be ready to adjust that way. And that's what the safety has to do. And
so, Nuck, what's your pick?
I'm taking the Redskins in a landslide. I think they win this game by at least 8.
I think it's closer. I think they're going to run the ball pretty well against us. I'm not worried about their defense. I think Kirk's going to have a much better game. And the difference is that we're going to be able to score much faster and more efficiently than they.
There's going to be like no pass rushes.
Yeah. There's no pass rush.
Kirk's going to have plenty of time to pass.
Yeah. I mean, our O-line was pretty good last week. Passing O-line, not running O-line. I don't think the holes were there.
Passing O-line, I think he's going to have the jitters out. Yeah. He's not going to feel footsteps coming at all times.
And he knows that defense.
Yeah.
I mean, he's played it multiple times. I hope we can stop the run. If we can force 1 or 2 turnovers, I think we're winning. We have to be opportunistic. Defense bend did not break, and I like the Skins, baby. All right. 1-1. Too early to say must win.
No,
it's a must win.
It's a must win.
In our division, nothing's a fucking must win.
This is a game that we have to have. All right, so rematch of the first round of the AFC playoffs last year. One of the worst games ever played by a quarterback. We get the Chiefs at the Texans.
Shout out to Brian Hoyer.
They're back. I was on the money with this one. What's your guess on the line?
Texans by 3.
Texans by 2.5.
You guess that?
I guess that.
Why are you lying?
I'm not lying. There's written proof, bro. You can check the history.
Why are you always lying?
All right, so this is the reason that the Texans went out and got Brock Osweiler. Like, the single reason.
You mean Coxweiler?
Yeah.
JK.
Well, this is why they went out and got him. Brian Hoyer played 4 picks. If you remember DeAndre Hopkins in that game, he was not happy. I think he's going to be motivated for this game specifically. We saw Will Fuller emerge last week.
Lamar Miller.
Lamar Miller was one of the only 100-yard rushers of the week, and the defense is almost healthy. Brian Cushing got hurt last week, but I think you see the Texans win this one out. Spencer Ware's not enough for the Chiefs this week.
So I'm putting myself in the Chiefs' position. You're down 28-3 to the Chargers at Arrowhead. You come back and you win that. Now, you can go either way with that. Is that emotional letdown coming up, or is that oh, look at us, we're that good, let's ride this momentum? I'm going to ride the Chiefs. I think Spencer Ware is formidable in that offense, and I think they're going to give Charles another week, it seems like. He practiced, but it seems practice is practice squad. I don't think he's ready yet, and I don't think he'll be impactful yet. Chiefs D was disappointing last week, though. You give up 30 plus to the Chargers. That's really pathetic at home. But I think I like Alex Smith more than Brock. I think it's a close game, but I think they cover the 3, and I think they win that outright.
The 2.5, you mean?
Yeah, 2.5. Yeah, I'll probably buy the half point though. I like losing by a field goal. This is a close game though.
All right. Well, you're gonna take the Chiefs here. So next up we got the Seahawks and the Rams.
By the way, go back to our. It's too early to say this, but go back to our bust preview. I said Todd Gurley would be a bust, and he looked at me like I was crazy. And I know it's 1 week, but just wait for it. He's gonna be a bust.
I can't wait for him to
drop him in all leagues.
I think he's on the can't cut list, but I can't wait for him to run for 200 yards and 4 touchdowns.
I know your pick.
Against
the Seahawks.
We got okay. So I was way off on my line here.
Wait, is this at Seattle?
This is at L.A.
Seattle by 7.
First game in L.A.
Seattle by 7? No, by 8. No, by 7. 7.
You should have stuck with 7. It's Seattle by 6.5.
Yeah, 8 was high.
8 was way too high.
On the road.
I don't know what I was thinking when I wrote down 3, but
what?
Yeah, no, that was a crazy.
I'd have put a lot of money on that bet.
That was a crazy person to pick. But okay, so the line is 6.5. First game in LA.
They're rocking the throwback jerseys too.
Yeah. So
is Case Keenum still getting the nod? Because I really hope not.
Case Keenum is getting the nod.
Might as well throw your ass in there.
Yeah.
Seriously, that was pathetic.
Well, it's not even gonna be. What's his face? Why are we bringing his name?
Who?
Top pick in the draft. What the hell?
Goff.
Yeah, Jared Goff.
You forgot his name.
I forgot.
It's why we forget it.
All right, we weren't saying it, but he's not even the backup. Sean Mannion's the backup.
So that's the guy I was talking about. I thought they might start him.
No, they're not. It's gonna be Case Keenum, everyone's favorite former Texan.
But this is a class. When I see this is a classic letdown game for the Seahawks. These are the games where the Seahawks are supposed to like win by 30. They just like come and they win by like 3.
They're supposed to beat the Dolphins by 30.
Yeah, so like this game seems like an easy pick, but it's a stay away from me. And I'll tell you my pick right after you tell me yours.
All right, so Russell Wilson still hurt, hobbling around on that ankle. He's gonna play though. Thomas Rawls gets the starting nod at running back, so the Christian Michael experiment is over,
and it did not last that long. That
Daryl Bevell even came out and said that Thomas Rawls has always been our starter. So
sure.
That all those things about the Christian Michael resurgence were short lived. I'm going to take.
Taking the Seahawks. I don't even think about it.
You're taking the Seahawks?
No, you are.
You're
too.
not even gonna let me pick.
I'm not picking.
Oh, you're picking for me.
Are you really gonna take the Rams? What sort of offense? How are they gonna score on this team? You can't run on the Seahawks.
You're gonna take the Rams. Shut the fuck up. I know what you're doing. I'm gonna take the Seattle Seahawks. They're gonna come in LA and they're gonna do what they do.
You said it's 7.5.
They're gonna slam that 6.5. They're gonna slam that offense around.
No, dude, yes, for sure.
You're taking the Seahawks by 6.5.
I think this line goes up before game time. I think it might finish at like 7.5. I like them winning by a touchdown.
You like them winning by a touchdown?
I mean, Rams might be getting their one pick next year. They're pretty they have a lot of additions.
Yeah, they can drop another quarterback.
Yeah, maybe. Look at the guy from Clemson, Watson.
Deshaun Watson. All right, so I think this is the most intriguing game of the week. The Buccaneers travel to Arizona to play the Cardinals.
See, this is
Jameis fresh off his NFC Offensive Player of the Week.
Yeah.
Cardinals at home off their loss to the Patriots.
So we are all guilty of overreaction week 1.
Yeah, the Cardinals suck, right?
The Bucs, Jameis Winston, after that halftime speech he gave Florida State, he comes back beating his arch nemesis on the road. Yeah, Cardinals suck. Carson Palmer's done.
Jameis Winston's going to throw for 64 touchdowns.
So this is what I like. So when you see this, in my opinion, the public's going to be favoring the Buccaneers based off last week's high.
Uh-huh.
One thing always happens. Everything goes back to normal. It regresses back to the mean. What is the line?
What's your guess, dude?
Is it in Arizona?
It's in Arizona.
Arizona by 5. I think that's low.
You're absolutely wrong about everything you just said. They're giving them the same respect that they're giving the Seahawks and the Rams. They're saying Cardinals by 6.5.
Wow.
So I guess 5.5. So I was a little bit closer than you were.
Well, yeah. So I do think the public's going to be on Tampa Bay. I think a lot of people like this road.
The public is on Tampa Bay, and so am I.
No.
I think that
Cardinals start 0-2 at home.
I think they start 0-2
at home.
At home.
Really?
Yes.
Rethink that. No, don't do that.
I think the Tampa Bay offense is for real, dude. I think that this is gonna be a lot higher. I'm gonna take the over in this game as well. I think it's a lot higher scoring than people think it's gonna be. I think Tampa Bay's defense is actually pretty solid as well. So I'm gonna go with Tampa Bay and the points. I'm not taking them to win the game, but I'm taking them and the points.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite plays of the week. I think Arizona wins by a lot. I think they came out flat. They saw Gronk was out. They saw a lot of players on the Patriots out. They kind of laid an egg. And they come back. Bruce Arians rallies the troops, and I think they win comfortably by 10.
I think this is one of those. I think it's gonna be one of those things where you see a stumble to start the season, and then you see like a Tyrann Mathieu, Patrick Pearson players only meeting.
Oh,
and then they go.
They're supposed to go to the Super Bowl, man. 0-2 at home.
And then this sparks them all the way to the Super Bowl. This is the stumble.
Oh my God, really?
This
Super
is a
Bowl
stumble.
Pick?
This is a stumble they need.
You can give a Super Bowl pick now.
Week 2, while I'm picking them to lose. All right, then. So now that we got all the scrubs out of the way, my favorite team travels to San Diego to visit the Chargers. I'm talking about my second favorite team, Jacksonville, of course. They're So this is gonna be in San Diego, traveling west, 4:00 game. Jacksonville by.
I actually think it would be a pick'em. No?
It is not a pick'em.
Jeez. What is it?
It is Chargers by 3.
Oh. Wow.
So, I mean,
Vegas knows something.
In a neutral area, a pick'em, but. So you were way off on that one. That was a 3-point difference. But Jacksonville, I think that, I mean, they're much improved. We saw that last week. But at the same time, traveling west is just something that they don't do well.
Yeah,
I think that continues.
It's tough for a lot of teams.
It's tough for a lot of teams. I don't think it's gonna happen this week. So
I don't know if like based on Chargers' performance last week, I should be like, oh, they're better or they're worse, because like they played really well, and does the loss of Keenan Allen really affect their offense? I know he's a great player, but I think when you have a quarterback like Phillip Rivers and you have Woodhead, Gordon, and all those parts, I think it doesn't really affect the team as much as that losing number one would traditionally.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, they have a lot of guys that could step up. Benjamin is favored to step up. Tyrell Williams is getting a lot of love from fantasy owners this week. Not you. I picked him up in one league. But big, fast receiver. But we'll see what happens.
I like the Chargers, too.
You like the Chargers? Actually, I picked the Chargers to win the game. I didn't make my spread pick.
Oh.
So you want the Chargers with the laying the 3?
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the Jaguars because I know better than to pick against them with the spread. So
yeah. You think Allen Robinson shows out this week?
He does.
Disappointing last week.
100%. No, actually, no. You know what? He's going to have Jason Brett on him. So.
Yeah, but if you're that number one guy that you've been touting it up, it should not matter. Like, there's like...
I think
doesn't matter for
Brett's a lot better. Brett shut down Macklin last week.
Yeah, but I don't know if it's based on the corners last week. I don't know. He should have a good game.
He should have a good game. I'm gonna take the Jaguars with the 3 points, and we'll see what happens there. Let's move on to up California. We're gonna go to Oakland. The Atlanta Falcons
Raiders
visit.
Falcons on the road. I already know this is bad.
Yeah. So what do you think? What do you think the line is?
Raiders by 4.
I nailed it on the money. Raiders by 4.5.
Who the fuck guesses 4.5?
So we got Derek Carr, Amari Cooper, fresh off their awesome game against the Saints. They're going to be at home in possibly their last home opener in Oakland.
Yep.
So the Falcons come to town, and so what do you think this game's going to be about? I think that the Falcons going from playing on turf to playing on a baseball infield, literally covered in shit, is not going to be good for them. I don't expect a good game out of them at all.
Yeah, I think this is the start of the decline of Matt Ryan. It's probably even started before this, but I think this is like where like the Falcons actually like they were getting to the NFC Championship game and they reached their peak and playoff team, and now they're heading that way. I like the addition of Mohamed Sanu, but they have a lot of holes. You're telling me Devontae Freeman's maybe banged up now.
Yeah.
Tevin Coleman's good, but I don't really know. Their defense has a lot of holes. And I think Oakland's a very complete team.
They are, yeah.
You know, from
that offensive line was, I picked them to be one of the most improved units this offseason, and they were.
Yeah,
their defense was okay against Saints. Their secondary was not good.
I think they're riding a lot of momentum. After Jack Del Rio Wentford on the 2-point conversion, I think the team's behind him.
The Black Hole's
that's how you rally the troops. So I like
the Black Hole's gonna be rowdy.
Yeah.
So you're taking the Raiders this week?
Yeah.
All right, I am too.
The Raiders.
So this game, I think this is gonna be a blowout. But the Colts visit the Broncos in Denver.
Fuck, don't do this. I always bet on the Colts. This is a homer pick for me. Let's go.
What's the line?
At Broncos?
At Broncos.
Broncos by 5.
That was my guess exactly. It's Broncos by 6.
Damn, dog. Andrew Luck, no respect.
Everyone's riding the Trevor Siemian train, dude.
Yeah, Siemian.
So, it's a Broncos by 6. Thursday night, they win at the last second because of Gano missed field goal.
Yeah, we know Gano pretty well.
We do know Gano very well. I think that Trevor Siemian's not that bad. I don't think he's as bad as he looked on Thursday night. I'm sipping the Kool-Aid.
The Kool-Aid. Overreaction week 1. He's taking us to the ship. Fuck Mark Sanchez.
I think that Trevor Siemian against the Colts, awful defense.
Pretty bad.
Is adequate. I think he's going to be a good average quarterback against the Colts' awful defense, and I think that's enough here. If Demaryius Thomas plays or not.
Tell me why. I don't know if you followed the Colts last year, but every game they start off so fucking slow, and then they come out with this fourth quarter comeback. Every time. Andrew Luck's like, bam, bam, we're going to lead you down.
Yeah, that was the first thing in the draft.
I'm like, dude, you waited till like 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter. So whatever you do, take the first half of the Broncos. That's a sure bet. But oh man, I want to put the Colts so bad because these are the games where like, how did I sort of backtrack? How did the Colts win so many games those like 1 or 2 seasons? Like they have so many deficiencies.
It's Andrew Luck.
Yeah, but like he's still there.
It's completely Andrew.
Yeah, but he's still there. Like what's happened?
He's still. I don't know. I don't know what it is.
It's just like that luck magic, right? I feel like it's just he has like Moncrief now. Like Philip Dorsett's producing. Gore's decent.
I mean, the only Colts fan I know is in the process of converting to being a Redskins fan. I'm pledging it myself.
Yeah.
So,
I mean that Denver D is no joke. I think that. Would you say that Denver D's like could be an all-time great if they continue? I mean, the last 2 seasons, I mean, statistically they have been. They've been up there, like in terms of turnovers and points given up.
I think, their excitement's there. It's like one of the most entertaining.
Would you say this defense is better than like the Seahawks of like 3-4 years ago?
No, I think that was like
because the Denver defense won them.
That Seattle defense was like a methodical go hit people in the mouth and get like and don't like make them scrap out every yard. This Denver defense makes plays.
So I mean, but like which one's better? Both of them, there's different styles.
I'm gonna go with the team that you just could not do anything against. That's Seattle.
You really couldn't. I don't know.
This team you can move the ball against, but they're gonna make you pay for it. They're probably
they're more opportunistic for sure. I mean, they'll bend without break and they'll make some crazy pick six for 90 yards. Regardless, I think I'm gonna take the Colts. I don't know why I'm doing this. I know this is a bad pick. This is a stay away from me, but Colts fucking money line. Let's do it.
Colts money line. Wow, you're taking the upset straight up.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Andrew Luck.
Ballsy. All right. I mean, for my
Knox breakout player of the year. Actually, that was mine. Fuck.
That was yours. Mine was Andy Dalton. For my fantasy team's sake, I hope you're right. Here we go. Sunday night, Aaron Rodgers visits the Minnesota Vikings, who could be led by Sam Bradford, could be led by Sean Hill out of the University of Maryland, throwing to Stephon Diggs from the University of Maryland as well. I was a little bit off on this line, and I think that one of these teams is not getting a lot of respect right now. And I'll let you guess which one it is.
Wait, who are the Vikings playing?
The Packers.
In Green Bay?
In Minnesota.
You're thinking the Vikings are not getting enough respect?
Yes.
Green Bay by 1.
Green Bay by 2.5.
Holy shit, that's a lot.
So, I think that the Vikings, their defense showed up against Tennessee last week.
Oh, big time.
Packers.
I was not sold on that defense, but that's a top 5 defense easy.
I started them.
That front 7 is no joke. Yeah, Kendricks was a beast. Yeah.
That team is gonna be good, and I think that even if Sam Bradford starts or Sean Hill starts at home in their new stadium, I think that this is a game that's gonna be a trap for the Packers.
Yep.
And they don't historically play the Vikings well.
Yeah, I mean, and so it's Sam Bradford's first start. They announced that, right?
He's been taking the first team reps all week. They haven't announced it yet, but
I saw AP was not successful last week. I think he has a big game, and that defense steps up. They have playmakers all over. Sam Bradford just doesn't have to mess up the game. They have an opportunity to win.
Yeah,
and you get 2.5 as a home playoff team. I love that. I know that Sam Bradford. You don't really know what you're getting with him. But he's been in the NFL for a while. I'm not too worried.
Yeah. So I mean, even if it was Sean Hill, I'd be taking the 2.5 points, and I'm going to this week. I'm gonna take the Vikings.
Yeah, it's possible money line play too.
Yeah.
I mean, if you take it 2.5,
you could take the money line if you want to there. So you're taking the Vikings as well.
Yeah.
So we're in agreement on that one, and then the finale of the week: Eagles and Bears, Monday Night Football. This one is
Eagles at Bears.
Eagles at Bears. I know the line on this one, by the way.
Bears by 3.5.
No,
2.5.
Bears by 3. You didn't take halves this entire time.
Yeah, what the fuck?
The one time you should have.
I was like, no, they're not an even team. I was like, Bears are probably a little better.
No, I think on a neutral side, those two are pretty even. So I'm going this is going to be another game where defenses are not going to be existent at all, I think. So you're going to see both quarterbacks throwing it all over the place. Carson Wentz was one of the surprises week 1.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't watch much of that game, but he looks very competent. And playmakers.
Yeah.
I mean, like Jordan Matthews and the guy Nelson Aguilar drafted last year sucked. He
Yeah.
he.
Tell me more.
They're playing well, and Zach Ertz seemed a little banged up, but I mean they have some playmakers there. But I like what the Bears did in small spurts last week. I don't know, even though they lost against a good Houston team, I like them. I'm gonna go with the Bears here.
You're gonna go with the Bears and the -3 points here.
Yeah.
I am going to.
Eagles don't start 2-0, man. You know better than that.
While I write your pick here, I'm also gonna take the Bears. Yeah, so I'm gonna take the Bears.
The Bears.
Take the Bears -3. Close out the week on Monday Night Football. So we made all of our picks, all 16 of them, for this week, including the game tonight.
Yes, sir.
If you're gonna lay down a parlay this week, who are you going with?
Okay. So I really like that Cleveland Browns pick with what's his name? McCown starting.
Yes.
So I'm gonna do Cleveland against the spread.
The Browns +6.5.
Yeah, and then I like the Arizona play. I like Arizona. I think Arizona at home. I don't think there's no way they start
-6.5. Okay.
And I'll give you one more homer pick. But I'm going to go with the Skins.
You're gonna go with the Skins.
I might put Skins money line though, because I think it might be like a 1 or 2 point win.
See, okay, so in this case, I'm gonna start with, I'm gonna take your lead. The new suggestion, take the Vikings money line.
Yeah.
Sunday night. So that's a little bit more of a payout than the spread would be. I'm gonna take the Bengals, getting 3.5 points against the Steelers.
Yep.
And then I'm also going to take the Jaguars, traveling to San Diego and getting 3 points.
Yeah.
That's my 3-team move for this week.
Let's see who wins.
So we're gonna do this probably every week. We'll definitely let you guys know how we did the week before. We're not gonna make you go back and watch the videos again just to mark things down. So next week when we come back for week 3, we'll make sure to let you know how we did. So you know whether you want to tail us or if you want to go with our picks.
Yeah.
But
and also tweet at us when you have fantasy questions. We love helping you guys out. On game day, Sunday morning when you're thinking who to start, who to sit. This guy's he's the injury report.
We're up early. And
Adam Schefter tweets him, and then he tweets out.
He's like, "Yo, Knox, what's up, dude?"
Yeah.
But we'll be back. Check out Nik Nak Podcast. We're on Stitcher, SoundCloud, Google Play Music, and iTunes. So we'll be back in a second. Check out the other videos on our YouTube channel as well. And those of you listening to the podcast, we'll be back for some more. Dab on them.